All right, people, we're ready for our final project for this class. I'm so excited. This video has everything that you need to know to be successful on day one. So feel free to watch it as many times as you need to, pause it as you want to go. But here we go. All right, folks, so here's your outline for what is due by the end of the day. So it either needs to be written out, typed out on a video, something. I will go into each one on the following slides in more depth. So, which team member is responsible for supervising what? How will you present your information? What type of school are you creating? What will be the hours of your school and why? What classes or subjects will be required and how do they meet each area of development? What are age-appropriate expectations for the student at your school and what is the school's vision statement? Okay, so the first thing that you need to figure out is who's responsible for supervising what. So who's going to have the final say over each different part of the project? So all of your team members should work together to come up with the idea and the content of each section, but the person signed will be checking the final edits and to make sure each item is perfect and how the team wants it to look. So they're kind of like the principal of that section of the project. Your group also needs to assign just a general task manager. They're going to make sure that everybody's doing what they need to do, that everybody's meeting the deadlines. They're going to give you time checks, things like that. So somebody who's really organized and on top of it should probably be your task manager. You're also going to need a general spokesperson. They're going to be the one actually presenting the project and answering any questions. They can also ask other groups for ideas. They can ask your teacher for ideas, things like that. And then you also need a grammar guru. They should be good with commas and periods as well as spelling. Spell check does not catch everything. This person is probably going to want to read through anything that you have out loud to make sure the flow is right and to make sure it's just perfect. The next thing that your team needs to figure out is how are you going to present your project? Are you going to make a poster? Are you going to do a trifold? Are you going to make a movie, kind of like a commercial for it? Are you going to make a website? You could do this on Wix.com. Are you going to type a paper? You have a lot of options. And then if you think of something cooler, if you think of something better, you are welcome to run it past your teacher. Just make sure it gets approved. Don't just start doing something randomly and then find out it's not approved and have to start over. The next big thing, this is where the project really starts. What type of school are you making? We've talked about kids from ages 4 to 18, so that includes preschoolers, elementary schoolers, middle schoolers, high schoolers. What kind of school are you going to make? Are you going to design your own school where you have 6th graders and 7th graders? Are you going to design a school where it's 4, 5, and 6? It's totally up to you. What's your school going to look like? Are you going to design a school for special needs students? Are you going to design a school for advanced students? Is it a private school? Is it a public school? What's the plan? The next part's kind of fun. I know Des Moines had a big debate about changing school hours for next year, which is not happening. But what are the school hours of your school that your team is designing? What is it going to be? So number one, you have to tell us what are the school hours that you're proposing, and then you have to justify why those hours are appropriate for that age child. So you can't just say, oh, my school is going to go from noon to 5 because I don't wake up until 11:30 and, at 5 I can get a ride home or something. You have to have actual research. Why is that time appropriate for that age of student at your school? After you've determined what kind of school you're going to have, what the hours are, then you need to determine what classes or subjects are required and how do they meet the areas of development. So if you are telling me, oh, all of our kids are going to do PE, well, is PE for emotional social? Is it for intellectual? Is it for physical? How does it kind of sync up? Why are we having PE? Maybe if it doesn't sync up with any of the areas of development, you should consider removing it from your school. Next, you need to determine the expectations or the rules that are appropriate for the students at your school. If you have, 12th graders at your school, do you think that you really need to have something that says no running in the hallways? Or is that maybe more appropriate for elementary or preschool age? You should have at least 5 rules, no more than 10. If they're not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate, you'll have to rewrite them. Next is a vision statement. This is probably the hardest part of day one. The first tip I would give you is to look at our school's vision statement, and I can show you how to find that. Be specific in your vision statement. It should inspire all of the members of your staff to be great teachers for that specific age range. And then look at other examples of other schools. You can just go online and Google school vision statements or education vision statements or how to write a vision statement for education, and you can get lots of different ideas, lots of different examples. Okay, this is our last slide for today, wrapping up. If you don't understand something, ask your teacher, ask another group, ask somebody in your group to clarify. Don't just sit there, well, I didn't know what to do, so nothing got done. That's not acceptable. Stay engaged and on task. Get off your phone unless you're doing research. Snapchat is not your friend for this project. There's a lot to do in day one. You need to do it. Your team needs to get it done. And then teamwork makes the dream work. One person is not going to do this all by themselves. Follow the rules that your team assigned. If somebody's not here, it is their responsibility to get caught up on what they missed. There is not one person just doing everything. That will not be acceptable. Check your rubric, check the success criteria, all that jazz. All right, best wishes.